Good morning, folks. This is Manny Magoo on Sunday, November the 8th, and I want to do a quick video on 7 stocks right now on our watch list that we are going to be looking at for next week. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not here to tell you to buy these stocks, sell these stocks, hold these stocks. That's not what I do. The only thing that I like to do is share some of my knowledge with you. I am a price action trader. I've been trading for over 20 years, and I just want to share some of my knowledge on how I trade out there with people who may have an interest in using my method. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's dive right into it. First stock I'm looking at, folks, is Cree. The symbol is C-R-E-E. This is a daily chart on Cree. These are daily candles, okay? And these lines here that I have drawn, I will explain to you what they are and why I put them on my charts. I do this every Sunday. Folks, it's important that you have a plan, okay? Everyone needs a plan. Just like a regular business, you need a business plan in order to move forward. You need a plan when you trade, okay? So it's important you do your homework over the weekend before the bell rings at 9:30 a.m. on Monday so you can be prepared, okay? So let's dive right into Cree. The first thing I do is I look at the monthly chart, and if you take a look at my yellow lines, and if you take a look at this candle, I always, this is the month of October, I always draw a horizontal line on the high and a horizontal line on the low of the month, okay? Reason being, the monthly candles, folks, they hold a lot of weight. They hold more weight than a weekly candle. They hold a lot more weight than a daily candle. They hold a lot more weight than a 4-hour, hourly candle, 5-minute candle. This is 30 days of data, okay? So no matter what, every high and every low of the month, if the price is below the high, you know that the high is going to be major resistance. If the price is above the previous month's low, you know that this is going to be support. So the first thing I do is I draw my lines on the high and the low of the month, and I leave them there for the remaining month. So right now we're in November. This is the October candle. I will leave it there until the end of November, okay? The only thing I do change is my weekly candles. So here's the previous week. That closed on Friday. The high was 71.28. The low was 62.17, okay? Now I want you to pay attention to this, folks, because this is very important. If you take a look at the previous week, which was the 10/26 week, the high was 72.22. The low was 60.56, which means that the 11/2 week was not strong enough to break the previous week's high, but was also not weak enough to break the previous week's low. I look at this as a moment of consolidation, okay? The bears, the bulls, they're trying to decide a direction. They don't know it, and usually when you have an inside week, inside day, inside month, there's a lot of indecision. And sometimes I usually like to stay away from it. However, if I see a break of the high, which is 71.28, I usually like to take that position long, knowing that 71.28 then becomes my support, okay? So the beautiful part about the way I trade is that if it breaks 71.28, which is the 11/2 high, I expect it to run. Okay. Now, I don't know where it's going to go. Obviously, it could break and then it could pull back, or it could break and just go. I expect it to run. That's the reason I trade it. However, I know that if it breaks 71.28, well, if it breaks an area of resistance, well, then obviously that resistance then becomes support. So if I want to get out, if it pulls back inside, I could get out. And guess what? It didn't cost me anything, okay? The key to trading is capital preservation, okay? And it's important that you preserve your capital as much as you possibly can, okay? No one knows where the stock market's going to go, okay? If they say that they do, I can promise you, you better not listen to that person, okay? So anyway, looking at the daily chart on Cree, right now, as you can see, we've had a nice run in the last week. And again, if it breaks this 71.28 area, chances are I will be taking a nibble here, folks, and taking it long. Okay, moving along to the next stock, I am looking at Workhorse. WKHS Workhorse has, since last month's high of $30.59, it hasn't really done much except pretty much vomit its way down, sort of say. As you can see in this channel here, there's a lot of consolidation. Again, going back to the monthly chart, okay, you'll see that, again, my yellow horizontal line is on October's high. My yellow horizontal line is on October's low. Going to the weekly chart, this is the previous week, which was Friday. Also pay attention to this, folks. This is an inside week. I really pay attention to inside weeks because they could we can have another inside week or we can break above that price. And I usually like playing inside weekly candle breaks. So right now I'm watching for a break of $19.19. If Workhorse breaks 19.19, chances are I will be taking this trade, okay, knowing that 19.19 then becomes the support. Okay, let's move along. I'm looking also at Moderna, MRNA. Let's see here. Let's go back to the monthly. Again, monthly chart, as you can see, I have identified my high and my low. Okay, I'm going to go to a weekly chart now. And also, wow, Moderna also had an inside week. Now, folks, you can see here that Moderna has been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 weeks. Okay, so it seems like it found support in this channel, and looks like it could break out. But again, you never know. However, Moderna, 74.16 is the high on Moderna. If Moderna breaks 74.16, chances are I will be taking this trade. And again, knowing that Moderna could run up to 81.37 if it really wants to. That's the next area that I see tremendous amount of resistance on. That's the last time it got up there was on 10/13, October 13th, where it just pulled back from there. Okay, so it's important, folks, to know your support and resistance areas. Okay, it can save you a lot of money and it can make you a lot of money. A resistance area, when it breaks, if it runs, it could really run. Okay, so it's important that you understand this. If something you don't understand, please comment. I'd appreciate it, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Okay. Again, moving on to shak, S-H-A-K. Chart looks really good on a 1-year daily chart. These are all daily candles. As you can see, tremendous amount of consolidation in this area here. Shak looks like it wants to break out again. And again, going back to the monthly chart, as you can see, there's my high and low on the October monthly chart. There's the weekly. Okay, the weekly, you have it last week actually broke the low of the previous week, which was 64.68. But then what did it do? It reclaimed it and went back inside. Also, another thing that I do want to point out to you. So last week on 10/26, okay, I had my line drawn at the low of the 10/26 weekly candle, which was $64.68. Okay. Now, if you pay attention, once I see that it breaks to the downside, okay, obviously it broke an area of support, which it did. Let's take a look at a shorter time frame, okay. and let's see here. It broke that support back on Monday. But once it comes back inside, here I'll show you. So let's just say, again, the low of that week was 64.68, so I would have my line there, okay? Soon as I'd see the candle go back inside and break that 64.68 area, folks, I always take that trade, okay? That means that it did not want to fall any further, and the 64.68 area becomes resistance. Once it breaks resistance, just like if you have resistance on a candle upside. So, for example, this week here, the high is 72.35. If it breaks 72.35, well, obviously it broke an area of resistance, just like it did when it broke the low, okay? So it broke support this week, and then it went back inside. If you took that trade, you would have made a tremendous amount of money, okay? So, this is just the way I trade, folks. I'm not telling you to trade that way, and if it's something that you don't understand, again, please comment, and I can explain it to you in detail. It's worked for me for many, many, many years, okay? Next stock is fsly, FSLY. Looks like here we also have a weekly inside candle, okay? Fsly has come down dramatically. It seemed like it found some support here on the 10-26 week, which was a low of 62.20. We also see 62.60 it went down before it started to run up a little. Fsly is a company that, if, again, it breaks this 75.06 marker, chances are I will also be taking this long. Again, identifying that I know that if it breaks 75.06, if it breaks 75.06, it'll break an area of resistance, which was last week's high. It'll go back in this channel where there was a lot of support in this area. I know, though, if it breaks and it runs, great. But if it breaks and it doesn't run, folks, I know that 75.06 is support, and if it breaks it, well, guess what? I could get out, okay? Anytime I go into a trade, I expect it to do what I want it to do. If it doesn't, I just get out. It's that simple. And I move on to the next stock, okay? So those are the 5 on our watch list. Now, I have 2 more that we've been looking at, that we are in. We have been doing absolutely incredible since I posted this on our room back at the end of September, October. NEO has been an absolute runner. We are up over 100% on NEO since October, the beginning of October, end of September. This is the area it was consolidating in, and it just broke out. This thing has been on a run. It is a bit parabolic, folks. It is a bit extended, I see. I mean, we could have a pullback here, but at the same time, there's so much momentum behind this thing. God knows where this is going to run, you know? So that's what I have for NEO. I love it. I like it, and I'm still in it. Another one that we finally got in was DraftKings. Okay, so now, DraftKings. Let me explain to you why I started liking this after this big, huge pullback. If you take a look, folks, okay, these are monthly candles. Now, DraftKings doesn't have a tremendous amount of history because DraftKings went public not too long ago. But if you take a look at these 2 months here, the low of this month is $34.47. The low is $34.90, and the low of this month was $35.02. What does that tell you? It tells me that this area in here where I have my line drawn, the yellow line that I have indicates the low of the previous month, which was October. There's support here, folks. So if a stock is pulling back dramatically, what you have to do is you have to look for the areas of support that it can possibly bounce off from. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm here to catch a falling knife. What it means is that I need to see an area of support hold, stabilize for a bit, and then what I usually like to do is I usually like to see a weekly break after a big, huge rundown. And as you can see, the weekly break was 42.64 on DraftKings. We took the trade. It did push back a little bit, but at the same time, we still feel comfortable. We are still in it. I'm hoping that DraftKings goes above last week's high, which was 43.60, and especially stays above that 42.64 area. Tremendous amount of consolidation in this area, but again, please be careful with earnings, okay? I tend to stay away from earnings. You know, you have to be careful with earnings. You just never know. It's a risk you take. So I'm always very careful when I'm trading around the earnings date. Chances are that, you know, I usually stay out of positions during earnings. I've learned from my mistakes in the past where earnings could, it can do great for you, and it could also be your demise. So just be careful with that. It's very important that you do. But again, that's about it for now. Folks, if you need me to analyze a stock that you're possibly in, just comment below. I'll be more than happy to do a video on it and give you my opinion on it. I will take my time analyzing the stock. And I appreciate that you can subscribe to the channel. This is free information, folks. I've been trading for a very, very long time. I'm not saying my trading method is the holy grail, but I will tell you this. I try to keep it as simple as possible, and it works. It works for me. It's worked for many other people that I've taught in the past. Again, you know, to each his own. I'm not saying not to use stochastics, RSIs, Fibonacci's, moving average indicators. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I feel comfortable with the way I trade. I want to try to keep it simple, and most importantly, I always have a plan. Another thing I am is very patient. I do not need to trade every single day, okay? You do not have to trade every day. As a matter of fact, the majority of the people that do trade every single day usually wind up at one point having issues and problems. If the stocks I mentioned do not break the areas that I've mentioned to you on this video, I do not trade them. I do not FOMO in, okay? There's always another train. There's thousands upon thousands of stocks out there, and there's always a great opportunity. So just be patient. That is the key ingredient to success in this career. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any further questions, please email me at hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Enjoy your Sunday, and looking forward to posting more videos here in the next coming days.